Abraham Maslow thought that motivation happened when a person's needs were satisfied. And his little tool to demonstrate that theory was this diagram here. Some people mistakenly refer to this as the food pyramid. But it's really called a hierarchy of needs. And some of you say, yeah, we've heard all about this. Good. The way the hierarchy works is that people have needs. And the needs have to be satisfied. When the need is satisfied, you move on up to the next level of need. So we've been together now since 8 o'clock this morning. It's now 11:15. Which need is beginning to make itself known? Hunger. Right? You think, God, it's almost lunchtime. I know I ate those big, huge, gooey cinnamon rolls, but I need some lunch. And if I was to talk beyond my 11:45 deadline, you'd be like, oh, this is crazy. Pretty soon it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Now you're ready to revolt because that need is so powerful. But if I say, you know what, we're going to stop early, you can get your lunch, you're all happy, right? After lunch, what need will probably present itself? Sleep, right? If we were going to be if we were doing an all-day session, you'd want to sleep. And until you got to take that nap, you could think of nothing else. That's precisely what he said. It's all about meeting needs. They go from lowest to highest. Lowest order, he called the physiological. Physiological. And those were the basic needs: food, clothing, shelter, sleep, and a host of other basic needs. But once those needs are satisfied, and by the way, if you're looking for this in your book, you won't find it. You got to write it down. Okay, I apologize for that. But you roll on up to the next level. And that level of need is the need for safety and security. Safety and security. And once you have a level of safety and security, you roll up to the next level, and that is the level of belongingness and love. This is about relationships. And this is, for our purposes, work relationships. I want to feel like I belong here. Remember that old TV show Cheers? What was the big attraction of the bar? Everybody knew you. Everybody knows my name. And that's how some people feel about work. Some of you are wearing the gold pins on your badges. You've been here a while. Some of you have been here long enough to see people have children, and those children getting older. You've been seeing a lot of this, and you like that. But that's not always enough. You roll up to the next level, that's the need for esteem. Esteem is that people start to look at me and say, wow, you know, you're really smart. You're really good at what you do. I really appreciate your brain power on this one. And you're recognized. And the final need is the need that Maslow called self-actualization. And the way he kind of identified this is that what man or woman can be, they must be. This is kind of like your bucket list for your life. I'm achieving a level beyond where I'm at. I don't know the man personally, but I think somebody who might be at this level now is Bono. You know Bono? Not Cher's ex-husband, but Bono. What do most people know Bono for today? Philanthropy. Philanthropy. He's an activist. But where did he get his level of esteem? From being a rock star, from singing with U2. And you know, a lot of people just park it right here and never go beyond that. But I think he's an example. Bill Gates might be an example. Someone who has made their fortune on some questionable software, but now they're known for their philanthropy, right? Their giving. He vowed, along with a bunch of other billionaires, to give away half of their fortune before they die. So this is what Maslow said is the case. Now, what a happy tool. Actually, it's not happy. Because what most people don't ever talk about with this tool is what happens when there's a level of need that's challenged. And that's where things can get ugly in a big old hurry. And as you think about someone right now that shows a low level of motivation, I want you to look at this and think about them. Maslow said when there is a challenge to a level of need, you go below that level of need and you try to get back up. We call that search mode. Search mode, and it's ugly. Think about the people in Haiti right now, in those tent cities, with cholera all over the place. Do you think they're having fun, holding hands, roasting weenies on the fire? No, there's probably crime and all kinds of things going on. A level of need has been challenged, and that's the lowest order of need. I got contacted by a company in Maryland a couple years ago to do some outplacement work. Outplacement work is when you're going to lay people off. Kind of like George Clooney's character in Up in the Air, if you saw that movie. And so I would have to go in and I'd have to tell these people they were no longer working at the company. you have to pay me to do that. You don't have the guts to do it yourself. But it paid pretty well, so I thought, what the heck? So I went to the company, talked to the HR person. I said, well, tell me what the scope of the project is. She says, well, we're going to lay off about 96 people. And she says, so I need you to give the notification, plus do some coaching and some workshops. I said, okay. How are you going to do it? She said, well, 2 years ago, we laid off 90-some people, and we did it in one day. I mean, we went through and chopped them off at the ankles. She said that was so traumatic that we've thought about it, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the 96 this time, and we're going to kind of stretch it out over a year to sort of minimize the trauma. What do you think about that? You ever wonder how some people become HR people? Say you're listening. All of you in this room probably are in agreement that that's probably not the best way to do it, right? What's wrong with that approach? Yeah, no one's going to know. It's today my day. It's today my last day at work. And what happens, and what happened here, is that people said, well, shoot, I'm not going to do anything out of the order. I got a lot of good ideas, but forget that. If I suggest a good idea that might in fact have helped this company, what if it messes up? That's going to give them grounds to get rid of me. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lay low. I'm going to hide in my cube, and when it's all over with, I'm going to emerge. Well, when they went around looking for the people who were the lowest performers, guess whose names popped up? Where's Bill at? I haven't seen him in a long time. No, I haven't either. What's he doing? He's hiding in his cubicle thinking, holy cow, if I keep my head down, they won't notice me. Well, they've noticed him, and now he's on the list. That's a terrible thing. And that's what happens when a level of need is challenged. So think about your people now that don't show a good level of motivation and ask yourself, if there was a need that was challenged, what is it? Is there some uncertainty in how things are around here? Is it because they don't feel like they're in connection with other people? Do they not feel like they belong here? Maybe they're good at what they've done and you've never recognized them for it. Is it possible you might be able to identify an area here where you could actually give them what they need so they could move up? That's theory number one.